Monkey just got back from the vet. He's he's all fucked up on tranquilizers and he's got bandages on both of his legs. But he is happy to be home, aren't you, buddy? Hi, buddy. Good boy. Jesus Christ. Hi, guys. This is probably going to be a shorter one today because I'm feeling kind of depressed. Uh, so yeah, you saw the title and the opening clip of Monkey being high as a kite with bandages on. And yeah, so the unfortunate news is that I don't even remember if I posted this on my blog when it actually happened, but a couple months ago, Monkey was diagnosed with heart disease. And it is a fatal condition in a cat. So it's not really, unless something else gets him first, basically, they were like, yeah, this is going to kill him. But we can't tell you when, really. It could be tomorrow, it could be 3 years from now. We don't know. And so I was sent home with a list of things to, he wasn't at the point where they felt that he needed medication, but they sent me home with like some monitoring instructions. And one of them was to monitor his respiratory rate. And I've been measuring him at a solid 20, 22 breaths per minute for a couple months now. And then yesterday, I noticed that he was breathing noticeably faster. Like, just looking at him, I could tell that he was like breathing fast for a cat who was sleeping. So I got out my little app to monitor the respiratory rate, and it had jumped from an average of like 22 to about 34, 38, even up to 40. And 40 is like considered an emergency, so 34 to 38. And with heart failure in a cat, it can build up fluid around the lungs or like fill the lungs with fluid. So I called the vet yesterday and said, what do I need to be doing here? And they said to just watch him overnight, and if it wound up being at or around 40 the next day, that I should bring him in. So this morning he was still in like the mid to late 30s. So I brought him in for an emergency appointment today, and he had X-rays, and the X-rays were pretty inconclusive. Like, they basically, the doctor said, I can't really tell one way or the other. So it's not severe or whatever is going on in his chest. It could be nothing. That seems unlikely, considering that he is, you know, measurably breathing differently than he has for the past couple months. And on top of that, they also found out that he has lost a bunch of weight. Like, he lost a pound, which doesn't sound like very much, but for a cat, it's a lot. Between now and his appointment in, I think it was May or something like that, just in a few months, he dropped a pound. And knowing him and living with him, seeing him every day, there is not any behavioral change that I have noticed that would make him lose that kind of weight. His schedule hasn't changed, his eating habits haven't changed, so not a good sign. Not a good sign. He's breathing, he's having some breathing problems, and he is losing weight. And so they're going to do some more tests. I have a medication to give him. Do you just hear loud bangs outside of your apartment ever? What the fuck is that? Sometimes I wonder, is it like car crashes on the highway? I'm feeling great today. Anyway, so I've got some medicine for him, and we're just gonna wait for the results of like a thyroid test and kind of take it from there. But it's like when I got him, the reason that we even discovered that he had heart disease is that I took him for a dentist cleaning, and they heard a heart murmur, and so we scheduled an echocardiogram, and the echocardiogram showed that he had thickening of one of the ventricles of his heart. So that was hard to hear. To go from not knowing that he had heart disease at all to knowing that he had it and that it was going to kill him eventually. That was really hard to hear. And I guess today it's not that this is a shock. They did warn me that it could happen pretty fast, and it's not for sure just a death sentence just yet. Like, nobody can give me a timeline on this. But it's not good. It's not good. I think that today was the day where I said to myself, okay, his health is declining at this point, and it's gonna be really rough. And so that's just the worst. He's like my best buddy. He's been with me through some really fucked up times in my life. My alcoholism, being assaulted, my grandma dying, the whole quarantine. And he's been there with me through all of it. And I feel like now I've really gotten my shit together, and he's leaving. And anyway, so I had therapy today. I'm sorry. I had therapy today, and I talked about my checklist of 10 healthy habits that I've been really trying to hold myself to and just constantly failing. And I decided that that list of habits is no longer serving me. And so I've cut the habits that I want to. I mean, if you're trying to build a habit and you try over and over again, and you don't, and it doesn't become a habit, what is the point? And if you have built it as a habit, what's the point of putting a check mark next to it every day? I'm just gonna do it, you know? So I cut the list into like a third of what it was, and I've made it more general. Like, every day, instead of exercising for 60 minutes a day, I want to exercise every day and do what feels right for the day. And instead of reading 30 minutes a day, I want to read every day and do what feels right in the amount. Just giving myself some freedom. Not having such a strict bedtime and wake up time in the morning. That sort of thing. Not counting every calorie that I'm eating. It's optional. And so I think that I'm going to take my own advice from therapy today and just do what feels right for me tonight, and probably just watch TV. So I'm fine. I am just sad about my cat Monkey. I'll see you in my next video.